This is always one of my favorite videos to film every year, and it's the Cultivate What Matters Powersheets launch. I'm so excited to bring you the whole lineup this year. I have the Powersheets, I have some of their planners, I have the goal setting book, I have some other things. We're going to go into it all. This bag right here is a gift with purchase this year, so it's super cute. It's just a thin canvas shopping bag. It'd be great, like a reusable shopping bag. It says Cultivate What Matters in every season in the berry color that's on their new cover. So if you have seen the sneak peeks of the covers, you may have seen that new gorgeous berry, and actually you may see it right here, but it's a beautiful color. And I'm not sure what the rules are on this. I believe it comes with the Powersheets, but it's a nice little handy bag. All right, let's dive in. I want to start with the Powersheets just because that's the main event. In my opinion, with Cultivate What Matters, the Powersheets are their core product, and I think it's probably what you all are here for. So we might as well just dive in and get into the main product. I surprised even myself this year with the color that I went with. It was almost this one. This is not the Powersheets. These are the Powersheets. So this year I actually went with the neutral acorn. They have 5 new covers this year. There is the leaf. Oh, that's the one that I almost got. And then Snowfall, which is a beautiful like powdery blue. And then you have Berry, which is that gorgeous mulberry color. And then Navy Blooms is their floral this year. And it's really cute. The only reason I didn't go for it is because it was a little bit busy, and I like bigger florals generally on covers, but I think it's so cute. And now that I have this little sticker book in person and it has that Navy Blooms pattern on it, I think it's really darling. I still am kind of excited about having the neutral one this year because I get the colorful every year from Powersheets, and I don't know if I've ever picked up their neutral one since they've come out. So let's dive into this. I'll compare it to last year's Powersheets, and you can see the tabs and the colors that are in Powersheets normally, and you can decide if you would like a neutral one or a colorful one. I just wanted to try something different. One of my friends, when she heard that I chose the acorn, she was like, "Don't tell me you're giving up color." And I said, "Not at all. I normally I go for the brightest color. In fact, last year, my Powersheets were the hot pink. These were my Powersheets from last year. They're very marked up, and I had so much fun with them last year, but these are the colors that normally you see on it. So they're really, really bright and colorful and fun, and one of the reasons I love Cultivate What Matters is the color. So really it shocked even me. Look at how sticker crazy I went. I was trying to use up all the sticker book because I knew I wouldn't use them in my planner. And so I just went a little bit nuts and tried to finish them up on here. I kind of love the way it turned out. But yeah, this is the color that I chose on my planner last year. Probably the brightest of any Powersheets I've ever had. And then this year I went with acorn. Maybe I just needed a change, you know? So I'm going to set all of this aside and let's dive into the acorn, and you can see what the difference is between all of their other ones. I believe have the colorful interior. So the Powersheets always come in this really hard, like very, very high quality cardboard box with a sleeve that matches your cover. So this is the acorn cover color. It's kind of a brown, and I think it's really pretty. And then here it is inside. It comes with a tissue paper. You'll have the little, what do they call the seedling logo that will have also the cover color on it. And let's just slide it out. I love how they wrap this, so it's like a gift that you get every year. And here is the beautiful acorn cover. I actually love it. I think it's beautiful. I like it. This kind of makes it look yellowy. So like it's not quite as yellow as this little thing is. It's more neutral than that. It is a beautiful linen-y, very neutral. It really does look like an acorn. That's the perfect name for this. It has the gold foiling on the front and the gold foiling on the back. It has a twin wire binding that is gold that I think looks so beautiful with the acorn. It also has the corner protectors in gold and the rounded edges on the cover. And then let's dive in and see what these neutral tabs look like. So in here, the neutral tabs match the acorn. I think in the past they've been like a cream color, but these are an acorn color. So you still have some color on the pages. It's not totally neutral inside. The tabs are just that neutral acorn color with the gold. So I think in the past, I don't know, I've never purchased theirs before, but I thought in the past the interior was also a little bit more neutral. I'm not sure. But in this one, you still have all the color inside, which is fun. It comes with 2 cards this year. It used to come with the Word of the Year card, but this one also comes with the What Matters Most card. These, I think, are about 4 by 4 inches, something like that. And then also inside of this, you have your season by season. These are the holidays for the year. And on the back, you have 2026 at a glance. These are cards that they usually do include. And then you have a little sticker sampler, which you will use when you're doing your planning pages. This here is the pocket inside. It matches the acorn, so it's very neutral. And then you have the gold and white stripe. In the back of the book, it is just this gold and white stripe. So it's metallic and really classy and nice. I actually am loving this a lot because I'm so glad I still get the color inside. And in these little berries, these little flowers here, it has this acorn color, so it ties it in together. So it's really pretty. I think it's like this gold color. If you didn't know about Powersheets is a goal planner, and it comes with a pretty intensive prep work that is at the beginning of this book. All of this is prep work. It's about 55 pages of prep work. So what I tend to do, if I either sign up for their goal school, which is so fun, and you kind of set it up together as a big group, and they do breakout rooms, and you get to meet friends who are setting goals and get to know people who are in this goal school all year, because you meet monthly, and I love it. I think I can't decide if I'm going to do it again this year. I did it in 2025, and I'm trying to decide if that is an investment I even have time for this next year. But it was so worth it. I'm so glad I did it. So the prep work can be done during goal school, or you can do it on your own. And that's what I've done in years past. I've used Powersheets, by the way, since I want to say 2019. And so this is my 7th year, I believe, using this. So I love them. I love them a lot. When you are looking at a goal planner, some of them just dive you right into planning your goals without doing a lot of prep work. They believe that you should reflect as you're setting goals. Or Cultivate What Matters does this prep work that really dives into what matters most to you, and sometimes can feel a little bit repetitive. And I was talking to my friend about this yesterday. When I start seeing those repetitive things, that's when I know that it matters a lot to me. And so when I'm seeing I need to spend more time with my family 20 times in the prep work, I know that that is a goal that I really need to focus on. So I actually love it. What I do is I do a page or 2 a day during the month of December and to get ready for the new year. And it's just fun. It's kind of therapeutic and I love it. So I'm going to actually go through the prep work with you. We're not going to dive like intensely into it, and I'm not going to read everything for you. I just want you to see the kind of work that you do and that it's not super overwhelming, but it is a lot. A lot of the pages are actually in those 55 pages are actually just reading. So I love highlighting it up and marking things that are important to me. You can see that I did this here, and I wrote down on this December 9th, December 10th. These are the days with the goal school that we worked on these different pages. So it's about, during goal school, you do between 13 to, some days are only 5 pages, but you get it done in about a week. So it's very fun. And I'll highlight different things, and you get to mark off the steps of your progress. And yeah, mine's a little crazy. I just had a lot of fun with it, a lot of color. So I will definitely be doing that again in this one. First pages are just introducing you to the Cultivate What Matters and the goal system in here. This is your journey with your power sheets. And so as you do these different steps, they have on this sticker sheet that they gave you, these little seedlings stickers, and you put those on here as you do it. So to get your first one here, all you have to do is write your name on page 1. So, but some of them are more intensive, like this one is pages 28 through 43. When you do break down your goals, you get to put a sticker there. So you get to work on it through that. This next one is Come Alive Again. This is where you talk about what you're passionate about, what fires you up. Learn from the past. You're going to do some reflections on the past year here, good things that happened, challenges, lessons that you learned, gratitude. They have 8 different areas of life. You rank yourself 1 to 10 on those. And then the areas are community, family, finance, health and wellness, home and spaces, spiritual and personal growth, work and learning. And then I love that the 8th one, you set yourself. So if you're in school, it might be school. Some ideas that they give you for this would be like reading, screen time, fun, marriage, neighbors, homeschool, travel, self-care. They also have a book that you can fill out that kind of has quizzes on these different areas to rank yourself. And I loved that little book too. I worked with that as I was setting my goals. This is naming what matters, what will have mattered when you are 80, what won't have mattered when you're 80, making some decisions. This is like a fill out the blank and your most purposeful year, and you fill that out. And then choose your focus. You can decide which of those goals matter most to you and what you want to focus on this year. And here's where you start brainstorming goals in those different areas of life. This teaches you. So this is not, you don't have to fill anything out on these pages. You're just learning about goals. There's lots of great information to learn how to set goals in here. So they talk about that. And here is where you actually put your goals down. So they have these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's room for 8 different goals. They have these 10 flags here, so you can color code your goals using this. You take the flag off and you would stick here on this goal. And then throughout your power sheets, whenever you're doing something towards that goal, you can use the stickers that match that particular goal. But anyway, you put your goals here. And then just a pretty page. And here is where you do your action plans for your goals. You take that goal and you break it down. Break it down by season and the steps that you need to take. And there's a page for every single one of your goals. So one of my issues is that I feel like if there's room for 8 goals, that I have to set 8 goals. And this last year, I decided to only set 3 big goals that I wanted to actually do this major breakdown with. And that was so nice. So other years I have done 8 and it was also nice. So you can kind of decide where you are in your season of life if you want to do that. This talks about pacing yourself for success, and it breaks it down into seasons, and then it breaks the seasons down into months. So you can take those goals and figure out where you're going to fit them in your year. This page is all about your word of the year. You can do it if you want to. I love having a word of the year. It usually means a lot to me. I've had a word of the year that I've kept for 2 and 3 years at a time because it's just meant so much. I'll get a jewelry piece that will say the word or something. You brainstorm your word here, and here is where you can write it in, your word of the year and why you chose that word. And then you can take this one and write your word of the year on this beautiful cardstock and then hang it on your bulletin board or whatever you'd like there. So just a page to put your word of the year. Here is where you do a vision board. You can do it on both pages. This, if you can tell, is a green page, but it's dot grid. So that's kind of fun. It lets you write on those pages. So I like to put pictures on this background and then write in on this side. I think last year I made my vision board in Canva, and so I just pasted it on. So this is what I did last year. This was just a free template on Canva, and I put my pictures in, and I didn't end up using this side, but I thought that turned out really cute. I'm going to do something similar here, but I'll probably do more like scrapbooky pictures over here and more writing out what I want to see on that side. This talks about living it out, and this teaches you how to use their tending list. The tending list is like the core of the power sheets. This is a tracker. That's what the tending list is. It's a tracker for the whole month, and I'll show it to you in just a second. Laura Casey, who used to own Cultivate What Matters, would always talk about progress over perfection, and that we need to just keep moving forward instead of expecting ourselves to be perfect as we are growing and becoming the person we want to be. So this talks about that. Here is where we get started in the months. So let me show you a little closer up of these tabs. They're beautiful. If you like this acorn color, I actually really am liking it. I think it's beautiful. They have this really nice gold foil on them. When you get into the month, you start with a monthly reset. And you'll write down important to-dos, things that you need to get done during the month, goals you want to make progress on your calendar, big events that might be happening that month, and what's on your mind. And then down here, it's a Cultivated Life Evaluation check-in. So it wants you to go to each of these areas of life and rank yourself 1 to 10. You can take the quiz again in that little book, or just how you feel about that area of life. That's generally how I feel about the area of life. Very much coincides with the number I get with the quiz. So I don't think the quizzes are necessarily necessary, but they're fun. So rank yourself 1 to 10 in those areas, and then that's the monthly reset. You do get a calendar. This is something new that they added, I want to say like 4 years ago. And it's really nice to have the calendar. When I use this calendar, because we all have calendars in our planners too, and I feel like sometimes too many monthly calendars just means that some appointments are getting lost. I only use this calendar to write out when I'm going to finish and start and work on goals. So if one of my goals this month is to clean out or purge my closet, then I am going to write that in, that I want to finish it in the week of January 4th. And I want to do clothes and then shoes, and then, I'll mark it out like that if that's one of my goals. Kind of break it down with the days. I don't write appointments or anything like that in here just because I feel like this is not my planner, and I know something's going to get lost if I do that. The next page is just more information. This page is not in every book, but it talks about, again, how to make a specific plan, that you don't have to be perfect, how to stack habits. You can read through that when you get it. This is a routines reset, so it helps you set up a morning, evening, and weekend routine. They have these QR codes where you can go and get more resources on how to set up routines. It's really, really great. I love this page so much. I always make a weekly rhythm or a ideal week spread in my planner. And I really think it's awesome and important to help you visualize if you've taken too much on or if you are spending time with things that matter to you. And this goes from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. And then you have this top spot with 4 lines. What I've used for this in the past is just an area to clean in the house, and I just try to fit it in somewhere in here. And then you can mark when you work, when your kids have their activities every week. This is seasonal. So this one is for January through March, and then you'll get another one with the next season. Here is where you break down your goals. So there's 6 different goals that you could work on during the month, big goals, and break them down. And then this is the tending list. So this is the magic of the Powersheets. It is a goal tracker. It has a spot for encouraging words for the priority for the month. I always put a scripture or a motto for the month here. Usually it's a scripture. And then here is the top goal that I want to work on during the month, that I really don't want to compromise that goal. These are monthly goals, something that you have to do once during the month or something that you have to work on all month. These are weekly actions and rhythms. It shows the 5 weeks here. So you can put you do laundry every week and then mark it off every week. And then daily action items and habits. These are things that you do daily, like get your 10,000 steps in, and it's marked down here with the days of the month. And I love that they added the day of the week with these as well. And then you have your reflection for the end of the month. It says this month I cultivate what matters, pivoted like a pro. You can mark that off. And then you put action steps I'm proud of, gratitude, and there's more reflections here. The next month is the same, except you don't have those quarterly things. You'll have this monthly reset, you have your month, you have the break it down, and you have your tending list, and then the reflection. And that's what the normal month looks like. So when you get to the end of a quarter, like the end of March, you will have those same pages. So your break it down and your tending list, and then your month in review. And then you get this that comes in every quarter. This is your refresh. And I love this because we sometimes set goals and then it's about quarterly that we realize what's working for us, what's not working for us, and what adjustments we need to make. So that's what this is all about. Here you're going to go through each of those areas of life, and you're going to put your previous score and your new score, how you're feeling about it now. You make a plan to move forward. You refresh your goals. It gives you a whole nother page to totally reset those annual goals, or just rewrite them to get them back in your mind because they're still important to you and you want to write them down. A lot of times I find if I'm not working on them at all, it's because they're not a priority to me. So sometimes I need to just be reminded that it is a priority, and sometimes I need to just delete the goal. And then you're going to plan for the season ahead. You have room for 6, 7, 8 goals, and the action steps you want to take on those goals. You have routines reset. And I love this too quarterly because it seems like every quarter new routines need to happen. Our kids sign up for new sports and times change with different things we're involved in. So we can set new routines, and then you get a notes page. You get a new weekly rhythm, so you can take those routines and put them into your week. And then you get a notes page before it starts the next month. So April is going to be just a normal month. May is going to be a normal month. June is going to be that month, plus you are going to have another refresh. Same with July through September. You're going to have a refresh at the end of September. And then October and November are just your normal months. December will be a little bit different. So you have your monthly reset. You'll have your month, your break it down, your tending list, your month in review, and then you have this page. So this is where the year-end things begin. And you have your 2026 year in review. This says stuff like biggest challenge, milestones celebrated, our meal, best meal or recipe, most surprising goal progress, most memorable adventure. I love this page. And then you'll have some notes pages. You have 3 notes pages, and then it will say you did it. Now, the years that I have really dove into my Powersheets and really worked hard on this, I have made huge progress. And the years where I just didn't have the capacity to really get into this every single month, I still made little by little progress. And I feel like this is an amazing tool, and I really love it. I use it every year. I love bringing it into my system. It's just a powerful, beautiful tool. And I highly recommend the Powersheets if you're looking for a goal planner. The Powersheets are definitely a little bit spendy. They're at $64, but if there is one thing that I think could make a huge difference if you really dove in, it would be Powersheets, and I think it would be worth every penny. I really like the acorn, although I will say the other colors are stunning. I only got this because I've never chosen a neutral cover before from Cultivate What Matters, and I just wanted a change this year. Very much am excited about that. Now, I do have a couple of the other covers here, just not in the Powersheets, so you'll be able to see it. This is the berry color, so it's so beautiful. This is the daily goal planner, but it is that same berry, the same cover that would be on the Powersheets. Gorgeous. These 2 colors are amazing together, by the way. I love it. So this is the daily goal planner. It is a really, really nice planner. It comes with this ruler. You have the same stripe on the inside, same color scheme. It does have some of the same prep work pages. So you have the Come Alive Again, what fires you up. You're going to set your goals in here. I'm not going to go through all of these, but it has places to set different goal plans and breaking down those goals. Live it out, all this sort of information. It's not as extensive as the Powersheets, and so you're not going to get all of that work, but you do get some in here. After you're done with all the prep work, it does have a weekly rhythm and ideas before it starts in the month. This is where your month starts. This is a page that you can do a wild card. If you've seen their wild cards, you can glue them down. I like to do a vision board here for the month. I think that's really fun, or memories for the month. And then this is undated, obviously, but you set up your month here, and then you have your monthly reset pages. I'm going through this kind of quickly because a lot of these pages are very similar to the Powersheets. You do have a tending list in here, so it has encouraging words and priorities. What you don't have in this is your daily checklist. So you have your monthly and your weekly actions at the beginning of the month. And then you have your notes page, a blank page. This is where you can do another wild card if you'd like, or whatever you want to customize it as. And then you have your weekly refresh here. So what's ahead, what's on my mind, habits you want to tend. And this is the reason why you don't have that daily checklist at the bottom of the tending list, because you have it at the beginning of every week here. So there's enough room for 5 different habits down here, and you can check them off through the day. And then what matters most to you this week. I want to zoom you in a little bit so you can see this a little bit better. Here is what the daily looks like. You have a checklist for your to-dos over here. They have the day. There are 4 top priorities or things that you need to get done during the day, 4 lines for that. And then it goes 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. priority. It has the date up here where you would mark it in, and then you can circle what day of the week it is. And then it talks about 10 to my goals that you can check off, express gratitude, encourage someone, and then the today's win you can write down there. So you have 7 days of that before it gets into another weekly refresh, and you have this start all over again. At the end of the month, you do have a month in review, and you can do a little bit of reflecting there, and then you have a notes page, another one of these dot grid. And I love that the dot grid alternates with their colors. So you have the pink one, then you have a blue one, and then it goes into the next month. So you have this page where you can put a wild card, you have your month, and then you have the days all over again. The next month is green, and then you have all the daily pages and weekly pages. So this is a 3-month planner. And by the way, I love that their pages are numbered. The very last page you have marking the season, and you go through these reflections of what mattered most to you in that quarter. You have another notes page, and then you did it. So this is a 90-day refresh. I love it. If you are looking for a planner and the Powersheets kind of combined into one, this is a great choice. I love it so much. And the berry cover is stunning. This season by season daily planner is $64. It is a beautiful book. All right, this next one is the season by season weekly planner. This is in the color Snowfall. So if you get the Snowfall Powersheets, this is what it would look like. They're the same boxes, except this one says season by season on it. This one just has the little logo. But the season by season book is a little bit larger than the Powersheets. It is a weekly planner. And this planner you can choose from Snowfall, which is this one, or the berry color. And then you get the little snowfall colored logo there that's looking very white. It's a super light blue. This cover is beautiful in person. It kind of makes me sad that I didn't choose this for my Powersheets. It is beautiful. I love it. It's a very neutral, beautiful blue, and it has that gold foiling on it, and then the gold foiling on the back. It's very similar in feeling to the Powersheets. You're looking at the size difference between all of these. The Powersheets are a little bit taller and a little less wide. So it's about 1/2 inch more narrow and about maybe 1/4 of an inch higher there. So they're similar in size, just a little bit different. This is 7 3/4 inches wide and 9 3/4 inches high. And it's just barely over an inch thick. It feels like a very manageable size. This is beautiful. You have the navy blooms on the inside with the stripes. And then this comes with the season by season, the 2026 year at a glance. And then it also comes with this seasonal sticker kit, which is so cute. These cute little birthday stickers here. You're going to have those seedlings to mark off that page. So you have some florals and then different things for the seasons. You have sunglasses and watermelon and cute little pumpkin, some winter things and Halloween things and flags up here. This is really, really cute. This page just was in here to protect it. So I'm going to stick these back in their folder. And then this also comes with one of those. It's the same bookmark that you get in the smaller one, except taller because this is a taller book. Here you have your name page with the beautiful florals. This is very cute. You have your year ahead. It talks about information. Here, this is a little bit different, actually. So you're going to plant good goals here. You set goals for January, February, and March. You make goals for the season and what you want to see in the season. Then you do have the weekly rhythms page here, which feels so much more roomy in this book because just the little extra space just makes it feel more roomy. And then you have a notes page on the tab, which I love. I love that the tab is actually a usable page, and a cute little floral down there that matches. That's cute. And then you have your weekly refresh. That's the same as in the other one. And you have a giant checklist and some dot grid over here. And it does have the dates listed here, which I appreciate. And then the next page is actually your weekly layout. It writes out week of December 29th, all written out all the way. And then you have the dates here as well. And then the today you have 4 priorities or things that you can mark up here, and it's 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. And then a to-do list or a dot grid over here on the side. And that's what the week looks like. You have another weekly refresh here before you get into your next week. The tabs in this book are so cute. The colors in this are darling. And yeah, I'm in love with these tabs. I love this yellow color. And it's like pink. Oh, pink and teal. These are like my favorite colors, by the way. I love the colors in this. They're so cute. So here you have your month at a glance. Really, really nice, like no wasted space monthly here. They are 1 inch and 5/8, so just over 1.5 inches. And then let's measure the columns for the week. So it is a vertical spread. So you have your weekly refresh, and then you have this. It looks like 1.5 inches, and it is. So you could use your sticker kits in this, and it would be beautiful. And I like that the time slots its own column, and so it's not taking up any writing space. So you could just have this be aligned vertical, and it would be easy to cover this up with a washi, and then you just have this beautiful lined vertical. It really makes it very versatile. So let's look at the end of the quarter here and see if they have some sort of refresh in this. So here's the very last week. You have the weekly refresh, you have your week, and then you do have new goal setting pages. So at the end of the quarter, you will have your next goal setting pages for the next quarter. So April, May, and June, you can set goals for those months ahead, and then a new weekly rhythm before it gets into the next month. So really, really nice. Let's look at the end of the year and see what they've added in. So here is the last week of the year, another one of those pages just protecting it. And you have that 2026 year in review where you're going to talk about things that you're most grateful for, things that you want to celebrate. Then you have some notes pages with the cute little floral on the bottom. These pages are numbered. This paper feels really nice. It's 100 GSM paper. So that is like a 70-pound weight, if I remember right, the conversion there. So it's a little thinner than like Erin Condren paper, and it doesn't have the tooth that Erin Condren paper does, but it does have some tooth, which I actually always want in my paper, because if it doesn't have any tooth, your pens are going to smear. They'll need like lots of drying time, and you can't highlight or anything like that. So a little bit of tooth will soak up the pens a little bit so that you don't have all that smudging. Here is the last page. Everything there is a season, and that is what the weekly looks like. This is a beautiful weekly. The colors are gorgeous. It's a very neutral planner, other than the tabs and just a few pages here and there where there's like a little flower and these kind of pages. But the actual planning pages are very, very neutral and beautiful. I really love this. And this cover, if you're looking at one for a Powersheets or for this planner, this is so gorgeous. So here are the 3 cover options that all come in the Powersheets that I have on hand. I think that they are, all 3 of them are beautiful. I would have been happy with all of these. And then the second choice, when I was trying to decide between this and Leaf, Leaf looks beautiful too. Just a really, really nice green. And then if you're into this floral, there's also this in a cover too. Look how nice these all pair. It's a beautiful collection. It feels a little less bright than Cultivate What Matters usually brings to us. I feel like there isn't any of that like, whoa, there's the bright Kelly green or the hot pink or anything this year. It's very like jewel tony almost. It's really nice. So next, let's go into this while we have it right here. This is the sticker book, the goal setting sticker book. This is a really nice addition if you are picking up Powersheets on the day, because they have stickers that go in each of the Powersheets areas. This one just says stuff like prep work, monthly reset, quarterly refresh. You have Tending List Tuesday here. Every Tuesday they check in with their tending list, and they do it as a community. So that is set up. You have one for every week of the year. And then Tend to It, Grow to It. These fit. Let me pull up the tending list so you can actually see. These fit here. So you can either mark off when you finish, like say your goal is to redo your bathroom. Once you redo your bathroom, you can take one of these stickers and put it on top of that. So you can also just color this in with a highlighter. These say I made progress or hooray, I did it. And you can put those in here. They also fit in the week. Sometimes when I would have a check mark on every single week and I was all excited about doing something every single week, I would mark the whole week and say that I finished every week. Here you have flags. Here's more of those flags. So when you're color coding your goals, there's extra flags in here so you can do the quarterly refreshes with them. And you have a couple of those. These are actually little dots. I like to put them here. So if my pink goal is family, then I might take one of these and put the pink there. If that goal for the month has to do with family, I would use the pink to mark it. I'll do it down here and here as well. And it just lets me know where my focus is and which goal I'm focusing on that month. I like marking off of those dots. So you have a couple pages of those color coding dots. And then here you have priority markers. So it says make it happen or my priorities. You can flag different things. Love this. I'm grateful for today's win. Here's more of the flags, so you can use these if you want. Celebrate your progress here. There are more ways to celebrate. You can give yourself a gold star. And then these are actually, I'm almost positive these are Laura Casey's handwriting. Maybe they're not anymore. They used to give us stuff in her handwriting, little quotes in her handwriting. And then you have some fun stickers to mark things off, like movie night, game night. This is like a health one. So water. These are water droplets, if you can see. I don't know if you can see the cut marks in there. And then exercise, fitness. I love these cute pencils. That's darling. And then you have flowers in the back. There's not as many flowers this year. They may have a floral sticker book. Sometimes they do. And I'm not totally positive if they do. But if they do, that one is the one that I used last year when I went crazy with the florals. That is the goal setting sticker book. And then the last thing I want to show you, I have one of their new Refresh Brain Dump journals. I love their Refresh Brain Dump journals. I have two right now. I have the floral one, the wildflower. This is the one that I have been using. I use this to brain dump in here the things I need to get done. I actually can't show you because I have a lot of channel and surprise things for my business in here. And I like to just get out all of my ideas in a brain dump journal. So I use this pretty heavily. And then I also have their new Goals Stripes one. And I haven't opened this one because I just wanted to protect it until I get done with this one. But I love the coil on this. It is heavy duty. I wish they would put this coil on their other products. It is like immovable. Very, very nice, sturdy, beautiful, bright gold coil. And so I have both of those. And then I have a new one, and I did open it to show you. So this one is being launched with their new collection, and it is the navy color. I think that there's another color coming out as well, but I don't remember what color it is. This one I just thought looked so cute. If you are getting the navy blooms, these would be a great pairing. It also looks good with mine, which I thought that was just kind of classy. And I think it looks beautiful. I mean, you could pair it with, I think navy is kind of a neutral, so it goes with everything, but it looks really good here too. This combo I think is beautiful. Kind of that jewel toned. This is a brain dump journal. Inside of here, another one of those papers. Inside of here, it just talks about how to get everything out to feel less scattered and not feel so overwhelmed. So it talks about the benefits of brain dumping and how to do it, how to use this journal. I've used this as they say, and it has helped me so much. So the first step with this is you are going to capture everything that's on your mind. You're just going to write everything down. You're not going to think about it. You're not going to judge yourself. These are kind of like the morning pages that you might do. You're just going to get everything out. So I usually set a timer for myself. It recommends a 10-minute timer, so that's what I do. And I really have loved it. Then you're going to take all those things that you wrote down. Your step 2 is just going to sort them. So I get highlighters out and I sort them into different things. So my responsibilities with my family, my work, my business, my church, all those things that it might correlate with, and I highlight them. They each have their own color. And then you're going to go back and read through that list again, and you're going to organize it. So they have different ways in here to organize it. I'm going to show that too, but they have these quadrant pages that are amazing, and you can sort out those things into the quadrants so you can see all of your work stuff together, all of your family stuff together. And then you're going to take your task pages, which I'll show you, and you're going to take everything from those quadrants and write it down on the list, things that you need to do, task lists. And then you take action. So that is what this talks about. It also talks about flexible journaling. I have used this for my morning pages before, just to like get out my emotions. It just has been amazing. So I definitely usually do this either right before bed because I have so much swirling in my mind that if I just get it out, I'll be able to go to sleep. Or when I wake up in the morning and just don't even know where to start, I'll do this as well. There's more information on how to use the journal here that you can read through, and it talks about different ways you can use the quadrants. So this is the Eisenhower matrix. This is fascinating. This talks about the Eisenhower method here. This is where you rank things by urgency. So the top quadrant is the most important, the most things that you need to get done. These are important, less urgent, urgent and less important, urgent and less important. So you kind of separate it like that. You can also separate them by category. This is usually how I do it: family, work, creative, and community, or whatever your categories are. By time. So this one, you would separate it by things I need to do now, next, later, and never. By type of task: to complete, to delegate, to resolve, to communicate. And so you can learn all about this. It talks about junk drawing those items. This is really interesting as well. So just read through this. I love this. This is one of my favorite, other than the Powersheets. I think their refresh brain dump journals are my favorite. So this is what it looks like. So you get started here. These are the brain dump pages. This is, you're going to mark the day up here, and this is where you're just going to brain dump. I love that it's a grid because you can kind of separate things out into columns. I usually separate mine. I have a column down the middle and write like that because it's just easier for me to write and easier for me to see when I'm starting to organize. And then I organize mine usually by family, work, church, and personal. And I do this almost every day. So there's 119 pages. I'm assuming about 50-ish, 60-ish pages, 60-ish weeks here to do. And then you have journaling. These are your list pages. So you can take this, I'll do this in a week, and then I transfer it into one of these lists. So again, you just mark the day. I put my task down and the due date for those tasks that I've thought of. And I don't use either one of these every single day. So mine has lasted me for like 6 months. Lots and lots of those. And then you have journaling open pages. So these ones don't have any lines or anything in it. And that is what this is. I love this so much, so much. I mean, obviously I have 3, and this one has been like amazing. I'm so excited. I'll probably go into the navy next. I opened it so that I could show it to you with the new one. I will definitely, once I run out and don't have them anymore, I will definitely get another one because they have worked so well. Thank you so much for being here and watching today's video. If you are interested in picking up the Cultivate What Matters anything, I am an affiliate with them, and I will have my link down below, and would so appreciate if you would take the opportunity to use it. I also have a coupon code down below that you can use to make the price a little bit more affordable. I know that this is an investment. I do think that this is a worthy investment, and it is an investment that I've made many times. I was given it this year to review for you, but if I wasn't, I would definitely be picking it up for myself because I have found such value in it. And I have purchased the Goal School myself. They didn't give that to me, and I love it too. So I definitely think that is something that is so worthwhile if you want to really dive in and have that community with your Powersheets. I hope you all have an amazing day, and I will talk to y'all very soon. See you, bye.